Adrian.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hello, Adrian.
Hi, Adrian. Great to meet you.
Hi.
Hi.
Good to see you again. Yeah, it's been fun.
We let it know.
What a transformation.
Your face looks funny.
We were just talking about the people. Like, you know, that was like, think about what
Steve,
that was.
this is Karen.
Nice to
Hi.
meet you.
Strategy.
Nice to meet you.
My pleasure. Nice day.
Hey, how are you?
Thanks for coming to Lumberyard.
What is this?
Nice.
What is this? This is the Catskill Creek.
Catskill Creek. It's pretty
Yes.
wide over here.
It is.
Yeah. Yep, longest inlet on the street.
Nice.
Good enough. So I'll just tell you a little bit about Lumberyard. We used to be based in Washington, D.C.
Really?
Yes, in Rockville. And we were the home for out-of-town premieres for New York City.
That
And-
far away?
Yes. So we provide technical support for the
Right.
artists right before they come. We're a
Yes.
technical incubator for work. And
It's a great idea. And what, you're just enough out of the zone
just
so it's
enough
not
out.
opening?
The New York Times won't
Why
come
did
here
they want to
review.
move to Washington?
Well,
Well, from Washington.
because we couldn't build something like this in Washington.
Got
So
it.
this space is just built for that. The theater, which I'll show you, we can recreate any New York City stage.
And the performers
Yes,
will not go astray
exactly.
nights. Do you know the
Exactly.
Jets located their training camp in Portland
Oh, really?
to keep the football players from spending too much time in late night
exactly.
activities?
So we'll have housing up here for all the artists and companies.
Nice.
We can house up to 25 people. And I'll show you, you have to use your imagination a little bit here, but this
This was Lumberyard?
this is Lumberyard. This is
Wow, this is big.
So this will be the lobby, and over here will be the dressing rooms eventually. We just finished demoing this space. I'll show you the theater, which I think is the best way to kind of appreciate the magnitude
What
of
a
it.
great idea.
Thanks.
So
Yeah.
you need permission from like Broadway producers and stuff or no?
We just announced a partnership with the
Because
Brooklyn
I am
Academy
close
of
with them,
Music.
you know, I get them tax breaks.
Okay, good. Well,
So
that's
I'm
what
big
we
with
need.
Broadway.
We hope that people will, especially hope people come film here too.
Yeah.
So we can get that industry.
This is the theater. Nice.
So we're raising the roof 20 feet so we can accommodate a full fly system.
You want to keep the same roof?
No, we're going to a flat roof.
Oh.
We need steel to be able to hang all the technical equipment.
Got it, because it's so beautiful.
Exactly. So this will just be, if you can picture, a giant black box space, fully technically equipped. And if a piece is going to Lincoln Center, the stage will be this way and the audience will be this way. And if the piece is going next to the Brooklyn Academy of Music to their smaller space, that'll be the
Got it.
stage and this will be the audience.
Do you do regular Broadway shows too?
We can, yes.
Do you
This
now
will be,
in
not yet.
Why not?
We've been doing mostly contemporary performing arts, so stuff that's going to Lincoln Center, stuff that's going to
And is
Brooklyn
your
Academy
group
of
a
Music.
nonprofit?
Yes, we are a nonprofit.
Do you lose money?
Well, we're trying not to, but that's one of the reasons why our annual operating budget's around $7 million a year.
Oh, that's great.
Yes. And when we open, we'll have a summer season
But they
up
don't
here.
need you, right?
They do.
So they want you to succeed.
They do. And the fact that Sam just partnered with us was a big coup for us as well.
And I am in my house is in walking distance.
Oh, really? Yeah. So we were the first organization they've ever partnered with officially.
Really?
Yes.
Great.
So that was a good.
Super. What a great thing.
Yes, and I'll show you here this. So the courtyard, and also, so we'll have our summer season here, and we'll have this whole region will have a whole summer season of out-of-town premieres. So we'll
How many
have a lot
seats will
of
the theater be?
up to 400.
Wow.
Yes.
That many.
So I think one of the biggest economic impacts we'll have on the region is from tourism.
Right.
Because this will be the spot.
Now, does
And-
Catskill get like overflow people from Hudson? Do you
Yes.
have a lot of
Well, we're
summer-
trying to
This will help do
connect.
that,
Yes,
yeah.
the two sides of the river. And then for the rest of the year, we hope to rent out this space, which is why we've built it so Broadway can also use it as their out-of-town facility. And then we got a grant from the National Endowment for the Arts for this courtyard space.
Really?
We are adjacent to a public housing section right next door. And this will be a space that's open after school for kids in the area with
Nice.
programming every day until dusk, and just a safe place to hang out and also to encourage.
Now, do you own this building already?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, we own it because for the whole thing, including across the street. Nope. No.
Who owned it?
It was a lumberyard until the day we bought it.
An active one.
Yes.
Very active.
Which is why we
Where'd
changed
they
our
move?
name.
They didn't. It goes down the road to Harrington, which was another
Right,
company,
Harrington.
and then they shut it down. You know, Lowe's.
Yeah.
It was a Dunn family.
Which is why we changed our name. We were the American Dance Institute, and now
I like
we
this.
are
Lumberyard.
Lumberyard.
Great.
Yes.
Fun name.
And this will also be where the audience.
Lumberyard.com. Everyone will remember it.
Yes. And this will be where the audience hangs out after the shows too, and we're repaving it. And I think it'll be a great space for the community. We just started free classes in the community center. We're bringing up artists from New York City to teach for free every week as well. So I feel like the New York City connection to here will really be a
Great.
good.
Yeah.
deep-
Hudson already has a huge New York City
They do.
connection, so
Yes.
it's a stone's throw away.
And also, since we're technology, we're really relying on Albany and Troy too, because that's that technology hub
They
and
have
work
a lot
here.
of technology.
So
Yeah, that's
it's
great.
perfect.
This is exciting.
Thanks.
Great.
Yes. And so the test documents are out.
Good imagination. That's fun.
Well, we kind of drew a wide, we dropped a net around in the city, and we wanted a community to.
Some enterprise in real estate world found it.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Well, actually, it was us. We really wanted
But
a.
how'd you know?
They took us here and they showed us this space, Canada Theater in Hudson. And when we walked in here, we knew that this space.
All right, everybody, it's great to be here. Whoa. Lights, action, camera. It's great to be here. I want to thank Adrian Willis, the Lumberyard's their executive director. I want to thank Mayor Seeley for coming here. Where'd he go? It's so light I can't see him. There he is. And our two council members. I forgot your names. Well, our two. Is this City Council of Catskill?
Village board. We have a village board and a town.
Village board and towns. Great. Okay. Anyway, I want to tell you all. One of my goals as senator is to take some of the advantages that we have downstate and serve upstate. And there are lots of things that have happened here in the Hudson Valley. We now have farmers growing organic and artisanal foods that serve New York City restaurants, and it's booming. We have colleges that are booming. We have an antique industry that is booming right across the river. And so any way that we can spread the wealth, any way we can help upstate with jobs and with growth is exciting. But this is one of the most exciting projects that I have seen, because the benefits that will accrue to Catskill, to Greene County, and to the whole northern Hudson Valley will be terrific. You know, from Broadway and the New York City Ballet to the Saratoga Performing Arts Center, Shays in Buffalo, we have great art tradition in New York State, and not just in New York City. And now we're going to add something to it. I've been to Lumberyards before, and I've been to performances before, but I can't say I've been to both at once. Now I can. And this is an amazing space. It's an exciting space. I think Adrian and the Performing Arts and Lumberyard's Contemporary Performing Arts Center has a great concept. They're really using it well and maximizing it. And so this is going to help. You know, I want to tell you a little story. When I first was elected, there were plans. Where was it, Steve? In Athens? To build that tall cement plant.
The Athens generating. There was two. There was the plant
The
in
cement plant in Columbia County.
right.
And there was the generating
The generating
plant.
plant now.
But there was a cement plant, that's what I'm thinking of, across the river. And there was a big fight. Some people wanted the cement plant, it would employ 300 people. But it would change the ambiance of the town. And other people said, why don't we really work on Hudson and it can be a real place where antiquing becomes a center. Most people, that was 20 years ago, they said, that's not really an industry. And the antiquing people won, and look what's happened. I wish we could have had those 300 jobs, but we have thousands of jobs now in this area because of that. And that's what you can say, this lumberyard concept has the ability not only to employ people who work here, but to sort of add a special sparkle to Catskill and to Greene County that will have innumerable benefits in terms of housing, in terms of new restaurants, in terms of all kinds of people coming here and putting Catskill really on the map. So I think this is exciting. And imagine having world-renowned performers be here. That's going to do great things. You could have someone like Wendy Whalen. You could have some great choreographers, Michelle Durand, David Newman, Kyle Abraham, working here in Catskill, honing their next masterpiece. That is manna from heaven. And so I think this is an amazing, I'm excited about this. I think I can see the growth and all of that. And with this new state-of-the-art waterfront campus, and I never realized that Catskill Creek was so wide and beautiful. Hadn't really spent much time on the creek. Lumberyard is going to support both established and emerging artists by providing them with technical support in residences, leading up to premieres and performances. People say, why here in Catskill? Well, first, the space is amazing. Second, the region is beautiful. Third, because of what's happened in Columbia County and parts of Greene County, it's becoming an in place. But finally, and what I found interesting, it's far enough away from New York City that when they do performances here, it doesn't get in the way of them saying they're opening up in New York City, because it has to be a certain number of miles away.
Yeah.
How many is it, Adrian?
Usually 100.
100. So it's just right. And how many miles are we? About 120?
Yes.
Exactly. Just right. So all of that works. I just heard that BAM, Brooklyn Academy of Music, an institution I've worked with and supported, and is only a few blocks from my house, where I live, has just partnered to have an established residency partner here. I'm sure this will be the first of many. Lumberyard closed on a $5 million loan this summer, but they shouldn't have to rely on loans alone. This project has so many benefits, what the economists would call externalities, which means benefits way beyond the money that actually comes in here. Will bring all kinds of money and jobs and growth elsewhere. So I want to tell Adrian and the Lumberyard Performing Arts Center that they have my complete support, and I'll help them pursue all different kinds of federal grants. They've gotten some already. I know they're going to apply for many more, and I will go to bat and use whatever clout I have in Washington to make it happen. We got grant funding for the Thomas Cole House not far away, and that's another place that has the kind of external benefits I'm talking about. So I look forward to having the same success we had with Thomas Cole here at the Lumberyard Performing Arts. Okay. Anyone else want to say anything? Mayor, you want to come up?
I just want to come up. The only thing I want to say is that even before they've opened here and started sinking a lot of money here, we're already seeing the change in our community. We see people that work for a lumberyard, but people that are excited. One of the top 5 questions I get is, when's the lumberyard opening? And when does this happen? When's
Great.
happening?
It's
So there's
just
a
great.
huge buzz about it, and it's pushing our real estate prices up.
Right.
It's pushing smiles on people's faces as they walk down the street because they know that we've got a future here in Catskill, and the
great.
lumberyard is helping us lead that. So
Remember
it's-
the movie Field of Dreams?
Yes. Build it, they will come.
Build it, they will come.
They just got, yeah, we got to
I
build
think
it.
we
gotta
can
build
say
it.
that about Lumberyard. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah. Thank you for your viewing.
Thank you. Great to be here. Any questions from the media? Okay.
Start off topic.
Well, let's start on topic. On topic. Any on topics? Covered it. Okay, good. Off topic.
What can you tell us about the healthcare bill, Cassidy Graham, that a lot of Democrats, especially Governor Cuomo, have been speaking out against recently? What's that? In your view, what's that going to do?
As I was driving over here from Ghent, I was speaking to a bunch of my colleagues. You know, we used a little airport in Ghent. And first, let me go on the substance. To take away health care from millions of New Yorkers, to put in a plan that doesn't guarantee pre-existing conditions, to slash Medicaid will hurt every community, people in the working class, people in the middle class. Let me give you some examples. You're a middle class family right here in Catskill, their mom or dad's in a nursing home. Medicaid, in all likelihood, pays for that nursing home. If this bill goes into effect, the Cassidy Graham bill, you may have the awful choice of shelling out thousands of dollars a month to keep mom or dad in that nursing home, or to have them come live with you. You may not have room. You may be raising kids. It's not easy. If you're a family with a young, let's say a 23-year-old on opioids, most of the addiction services are paid for by Medicaid. They will shrink or go away at a time when we need more. If you're a mom or dad and your little child has cancer, and treatment is available, but it's very expensive. If this bill passes, it could very well be that the insurance company would be allowed to say, we're kicking you off your insurance, or we're going to charge you so much for the insurance that, in effect, we're leaving. Can you imagine watching your child suffer, knowing you can't afford the health care that could keep them alive? Well, that's not happened in America very much. In the last 6 or 7 years, we'll go back to awful. So what we want to do in a bipartisan way, led by Senator Lamar Alexander, a Republican of Tennessee, and Senator Patty Murray, a Democrat of Washington State, is fix what's wrong with the ACA, but not get rid of it and all the benefits that it has brought to people. 80% of Americans, 90% of New Yorkers, upstate and down, agree with us. So we're fighting it tooth and nail. It's neck and neck, but I'm hopeful we'll prevail. Other questions?
What's on the President's address to the UN?
Look, I think we have to be really tough on North Korea, and so I don't mind strength. I think the language went a bit over the top. I'm not sure that's how you handle things. And to me, and I've said this to the President, the military options, and our military leaders agree, they're available, but none of them are very good. The real power, the real way to get North Korea into line is to really put pressure on China. China gives them 90% of their oil trade. If China would have threatened to cut it off, or actually cut it off, North Korea would have to stop. And at the same time, there's another benefit, because I am of the belief that China takes complete advantage of the United States in stealing our intellectual property and not letting our good companies in. They're rapacious. And so being tough on China would have two benefits. It would stop the flow of jobs away from this country to China, but most importantly right now, it would bring North Korea to toe. I've urged the President to do that. They're studying.
Senator, were you surprised by this kind of last-minute effort, again, to repeal and replace?
Well, they're always going to try, because that was their campaign watchword. But the reason they were defeated the last two times, and hopefully again, is because the American people really don't like Trumpcare. Trump promised to increase benefits and cover everybody, but this proposal decreases benefits and covers many fewer people and raises premiums, estimated 20% in the first year.
The media has made a lot of references to your relationship now, you and Nancy Pelosi and Trump. How do you figure that I mean, we saw that with Nancy Pelosi, she had the backlash from some of the DACA folks.
Well, it wasn't DACA folks. The people didn't know. It was a small group in San Francisco. I spoke to her this morning. She got overwhelming support from the people of California for trying to help the DACA kids. This is a group that's not DACA and says, if you can't help the 11 million, don't help the DACA kids. I don't think most people agree with that. I always believe the perfect should not be the enemy of the good. So here's what I think. How does someone like me, and how do I handle Trump? Very simple. I'm not going to obstruct for obstruction's sake, as was done in the past. But I'm not going to agree for agreement's sake. We're going to stick to our principles. And if Trump will work with us so we can get something done, but stick and keep our principles, fine. So on this issue, where we believe, as most Americans, 80% of Americans, 58% of Trump supporters believe that the DACA kids who are working hard, paying taxes, many in the armed services, many in school, teaching, should not be kicked out. And Trump wants security on the border. We should have security on the border, not a wall, but security on the border. So maybe we can come to an agreement. We hope so. Okay? Thank you, everybody. Appreciate everyone.
And what did it mean for you for Senator stop here and tour the Lumberyard here?
Well, for us, having any support from any elected official is significant for us, but particularly having Senator Schumer here. What we're doing is very hard for some people to grasp, and the magnitude is hard to explain, especially before we're built. And I think also to emphasize that the work that we're doing here in Catskill and with Catskill and for Catskill will be a significant game changer for the region, just through our economic development, but also through the amount of tourism that we'll be able to bring once we open.
And what exactly is the goal here? What are you looking to accomplish?
So, well, first we'd like to start construction. So we'll be starting construction in about a month's time, and it'll be phase 1 of the property across the way, which I think did you walk through? And it'll be a 5,500 square foot theater that can recreate any stage in New York City. We're building a space where artists can come and put the final touches on work before it premieres in New York, and we will give them their out-of-town premiere. So our opening summer season at Lumberyard, it will be a season filled with out-of-town premieres that everyone across the region can come and see before they see it in New York City.
When will that be?
Well, our first summer season will be the summer of 2018, and our space won't be finished, so we will be using area spaces, some in Hudson, some here, some further north, where we'll have our artists perform there to give people a taste of what we do.
And what's this I overheard about a dock and a ferry?
So, yes, so we're standing on the waterfront property, which we have 3 buildings, and we have a spot here on our site that is large enough and the creek is deep enough so that a ferry can turn around. So we're hoping to have a ferry that runs from the Hudson train station right to our property.
When did you purchase these buildings?
So we purchased the buildings in late 2015.
Do you remember the cost of it?
We initially purchased the whole parcel, or all the parcels, for $1.2 million.
And what's going to be the total cost of renovating and fixing it up?
So it'll be close to 15 to 17 million, and across the way, phase 1 is 7 million. And that's what's starting in a month or so.
And this is something this area's never seen before, performance to
No,
this kind of magnitude.
not at this magnitude, and I think that's what we're trying to really articulate to people, is that while there's great culture in the area and there are a lot of wonderful institutions that have been around for a long time doing this is at a different scale and a different size, and we hope to become a cultural hub where we're also supporting all the other organizations as well by increasing the amount of visitors to the area.
And you said the first performance next summer, but not here, right, in the area?
Yes.
And when will this whole project be done? When are you expecting it to be completed?
Well, phase 1 will be complete at the end of next fall, and then we'll have our first opening in our space spring of 2019.
Have any artists expressed interest in coming in?
Oh yes, a lot. So there's actually a very high demand for this space, and that's why we moved, because we had a smaller space when we were down in the Washington, D.C. area, and we couldn't accommodate all the requests and needs from artists to premiere their work out of town, and the requests we get from presenters in New York City as well. So there's always high demand for our season, and we really try to pick a broad spectrum of artists so that our audiences and our local audiences can see a good cross-section of American contemporary work.
How did you find this facility, or how did you learn about it?
So we originally went to look at a theater that was available in Hudson, and then we came across, and our realtor showed us this property. And when we saw it, we knew that it was a perfect space because of the theater, but that also Catskill was really the perfect partner for us in this, because it's a town that's also rebuilding, and we're rebuilding, and it's uncertain economic times for both the arts and for Catskill, and together as partners we can leverage resources to make each other stronger.
Anything else you want to add? Any other comments you want to share?
No, I mean, I would go back to saying why I think it's so important that Senator Schumer was here today is because we can't do this alone, and we're trying to get that message across, that partnerships have become so important for us. Our partnership that was recently announced with the Brooklyn Academy of Music is the first time that BAM has ever partnered with another residency site, our social impact investment loan. And I think partnerships, there's never been a time when they've been more important, and we need partnerships from the federal level, state level, local level, corporations, individuals, everybody to make this happen, because everybody is going to reap the benefits from what we're building.